hope you guys enjoyed my last video. I just want to clear up a couple of things.
Okay, so to all those who think that there's still believe that everyone's out for Megan because she's biracial, African American, whatever, this is ridiculous. Not every person with dark skin automatically supports Meghan Markle. In fact, some people are quite shocked from her behavior. So this is a channel I really like because she speaks clearly, she states the facts and presents the case really beautifully. Her name is Pidina, and she's just great. Listen to her.
I so much pushback when I call Miss K bland. Well, I'm sorry. I like bland. Look at me.
This is African American style that I love and learn. This is sort of ethnic kind of coolness and authenticity, and she speaks her mind. She's not fake, she's not phony. This is what I have come to love about African Americans or African people. They're very honest. They tell it how it is, not like the colonists who are always, the Europeans are so fake and phony, as a culture, I mean, not as individuals. I'm not saying, they're also phony African Americans, of course. I'm not generalizing. I'm just saying this is the style. And now Megan is like completely not that. That's because she grew up in this culture and she didn't go to private schools probably and was the only African American there.
Bland. That does not mean that Kate's not beautiful. She is loving and nice and all those other wonderful things, which she is. She ain't got to get all crazy with a sister girl, okay? It's not like that. And she's a great person. I really do like her. With all of that said, a couple of things. So Princess Diana.
This reminds me when Obama was like speaking, like, there's a certain type of talk that African Americans use. And he's never been, he was like in Hawaii and Kansas, like he didn't grow up in inner city. He lived there, of course, afterwards where he met his wife, but it was really funny how he talked like, cool and all that. But Megan, she's so fake and phony, and yet she always pulls the race card as if, there's anything African about her except the elephant documentary.
Going to be a documentary coming out about Princess Diana on Netflix. I can't wait. I'm the kind of person, I have seen literally every documentary about.
I don't, because it's too sad for me. I think it's really sad, the Diana story, how the royal family used her. And maybe it was about time to wake up and say, we don't need royal families anymore, because all they do, it's just a bunch of people with big ears that have no exceptional talent. We're not in the Middle Ages where if you're born into a certain family, it automatically gave you privileges. We're in a democratic Western mindset, at least in this part of, and this, I wouldn't say part of the world, I almost said part of the world. The Middle East is not the seat of democracy, but at least in Israel, we try to be democratic. We're supposed to be a democracy. Definitely the Western world is supposed to be made up of democratic countries, and yet a democracy like UK has this weird family holding on to lots of land and getting money from the taxpayers for a ridiculous status that is not justified by anything. They can't even play the ukulele. They can't even sing. All they do is just spend a lot of money. So of course people are outraged when even that's not good enough. Like, your job description is do nothing. Go and cut the ribbon of supermarkets. Go to nursing homes. Just smile and shake hands. And during the coronavirus, you didn't even have to shake hands, and yet that was too much for you. So
Princess Diana, everything, and I can't get enough of it, especially the car crash, like the information about how she died. I think that is just, there is so much craziness going on in that whole debacle of an investigation and accident. It just, to me, it doesn't even seem like what they were trying to feed us is what happened. There's so many loopholes. There's so much that's not answered that it was a conspiracy.
Well, I don't necessarily agree. I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy theories from modern times. Kennedy assassination. Um, it could be not. There are people that are obsessed with that case. As for Diana, I mean, it makes sense. She was dating someone of Egyptian origin. It would make sense that the British royal family did not want to be associated with that a former princess would be married and the mother of the future heir of the royal family. Could be, but it also could be that the driver had too much to drink. And yes, he was chased by the paparazzi, but you know what? You can't say the paparazzi killed her because if a person chooses to drink and drive, you can't really blame it on the media.
Something
It's my
just wasn't
opinion.
quite right about her death. Okay, so on Netflix, there is going to be a new documentary.
I don't know. It's like for me, I don't know. It's like it's not like she really made a difference to this world. It's not like Princess Diana was like she was she did make a difference. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I mean, she did make a difference, of course, with AIDS and with lepers and the way she was just like breaking a lot of myths. And yes, in that respect, but nobody voted for her. You know what I mean? So it's weird that in a democracy we have such people that marry into a position. That's what. I'm not taking away anything from her amazing personality and beauty.
I'm just going to go through this article. It's called Being Me, Diana. It is expected to drop on Netflix in the future. There's going to be 127 hours.
Wow.
The series will be showing the unseen speeches from Diana's speeches in 1990 and 92 and interviews with people that are close to her. It is expected that the documentary will focus on the princess's mental health, eating disorders, and her unhappy marriage to Prince Charles. Now,
We cannot say that mental health is not hereditary. Really, we can't say that.
the one thing I wanted to say briefly about this. So we know Prince Charles is remarried, and he's married to Camilla.
Oh, God help us with that one.
Now, I'm going to just be honest with you. When he married Camilla, Prince Charles, I was like, I ain't.
I love that expression. She's so expressive. That's exactly how I feel, and most of us. Somebody said that they used to throw bread at her in the village where she lives, Camilla, and like call her, like treat her like a swine.
And accepted her. She was the third person in the marriage of my
Exactly.
beloved Princess Diana. I'm not.
But let's not forget that Diana also had affairs. I mean, she wasn't exactly like just. I think that if you're really in love with somebody, you don't just like, okay, I'm going to have affairs too. If you're really in love with somebody and you have an emotional attachment to them, you can't just sleep around with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. And I think that's what she did actually.
Camilla, this is what I was thinking at the time. I was like, I ain't feeling it. They got married. She was the reason, in my opinion, why Prince Charles and Princess Diana their marriage didn't work out. It was because of Camilla. Okay,
Let's be honest. Marriage doesn't end because of an affair. The affair is a symptom of something not being right. If he was really in love with her, if they had a good relationship, he wouldn't have needed to go back to Camilla. And let's not forget, he had a very strong bond from Camilla to begin with. And it's just that the royal family had some crazy idea that he has to marry a very, very young, inexperienced virgin, or I don't know if she was, but definitely the poor woman was 19. 19, and, she didn't have a chance. They threw her under the bus, for sure.
No, that was the case. But I've since had a change, only because Camilla, she knows how to play her role. So this.
And the other thing is that Diana did also have affairs. I mean, God rest her soul. She really did have a lot of affairs.
Intense love between Charles and Camilla was so strong that they had to be together. Well, we know Prince Charles had to marry Princess Diana because of those stupid old rule reasons. She had to be a virgin. She had to be pure blood.
Exactly.
Had to be young, full able to breed. Camilla, she kind of played it right. This is exactly how Miss Megan should have played her role. Just in the background, step back, and just
Exactly.
be there, and don't say nothing.
Problem is that Megan has an ego the size of the, I don't know what, Honduras I always use. She's has a huge ego, and she, let's look at Prince, not Prince, uh, Grace Kelly, right? Grace Kelly was, you can't even compare to Megan. Like, Grace Kelly did meet Diana. I mean, Grace Kelly was one of the best actresses in Hollywood when she married the King of Monaco, Albert. And she really did give up a career. She was the number one actress. She made amazing films, Grace Kelly. She was so talented. I mean, interestingly enough, she played in really Alfred Hitchcock movies. And she gave up a career. This woman gave up a career, not like Megan. What did she give up really? And yeah, it's a big difference. Camilla is definitely in the. She's there to serve. She's not there to do any damage, and she probably loves the. I mean, it's a face only a mother could love. So, got to give her credit for that.
Just do what you are supposed to do and keep it moving.
Exactly. I love
Keep
this
it
woman.
moving.
I love this woman.
But Miss Megan, she didn't want to keep it moving. She wanted.
See, if Megan hadn't gone to private school, gone to inner city, she might have had some of the vibes and cool that African Americans, or African people in generally, these vibes that are really cool, really down to earth, and really get things. Like, they get stuff. They're quick. They're sharp. Not like the colonists who are really like, oh, sharp, sharp. She gets things. She's quick. Poor Megan just doesn't have really an identity.
Stop and do her thing, and stop and do her thing. And she kept wanting to like interject too much of who she was into the
Exactly.
picture. As you
Exactly.
can see, has turned